Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So this is my last live stream for tonight. Probably tomorrow I'm going to do the video about Michael Brown. So I hope that you all can check that out. But yeah, this is a lighthearted video after all that serious content. So I'm going to share my screen. In a second, I'll just wait till a couple of people tune in. I see we got somebody in right now. So I wait a couple of seconds till one more person joins and then we can get it popping. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and get started. So I saw this article and I noticed that a few people were talking about it. And I just want to share my thoughts about this particular article. So this is from Complex. It says fans react to Snoop Dogg saying Eminem is not on his top 10 rappers of all time list. And as you all know, Snoop Dogg and Eminem are on the same label. They had production done by Dr. Dre. You know, of course, you all know that. And they've worked together. If I'm not mistaken, Eminem was on, not Eminem. Snoop Dogg was on Eminem's Marshall Mathers CD. Like that was his second album. I think he's on that one. But yeah, so he was asked about Eminem, I guess, and, on the Breakfast Club. And this is what he said. He said, Eminem, the great white hope. White rappers had zero respect in rap. Let's keep that one, though. Wow. And then he went on to say Dr. Dre probably put Eminem in a position that he would be considered one of the top 10 rappers ever. I don't think so. He says, but the game thinks he's top 10, one of the top 10 lyricists and everything that comes with it. That's just because he's with Dr. Dre. So he's saying that, Dr. Dre is the main reason why he's mentioned in the top 10. And I think that there's some validity to that. And then when he was asked why he doesn't consider Eminem in his top 10, Snoop went on to explain that there are a lot of rappers from the 80s that Eminem couldn't size up against. He says this, he said, there's some niggas in the 80s that he couldn't fuck with. And then he says, like Rakim, like Big Daddy Kane, like KRS-One, like LL Cool J, like Ice Cube. And then it says Snoop goes on to say that he has love and respect for Eminem because they're teammates under Dr. Dre. But he said that Eminem music that he could live without. Wow, that's that's an insult, man. Like they're on the same label. I'm sure they've worked together. And for him to say this, it's like, wow, man, that's major. And it says like all these people had comments, some people were like interested, and they were saying like this one person put up a fake response from Eminem. So it says, this person says Snoop is from a different era. Of course, he's not going to have Eminem in his top 10. He grew up with 80s legends. He's not being disrespectful here. And he called Eminem his brother. And somebody else said that Eminem wasn't even in their top 20. So that's the article. And I just want to share some of my thoughts about this. First of all, I think that Snoop is right. Eminem, I mean, there are so many artists that are just as good as Eminem and some that are way better than Eminem. And but I think that it's because he's white, a lot of people are overly impressed with what he does. They're like, wow. And the fact of the matter is, there are so many other black MCs that have, as much creative wordplay, as much skill, and, some that are way better than Eminem. But because of his whiteness, people just assume that he's so much better than all these other MCs, and he's not. There's so many MCs that are way better than Eminem. Is he a great MC? Absolutely. Does he have the ability to put words together and say clever rhymes and all that stuff? Of course, he's a great storyteller too. Like, he tells stories that are funny, stories that are sad. So he's a very talented artist. But there are so many other talented people that are just, again, just as talented, just as skillful. Um, and the examples that Snoop Dogg cited are prime examples of MCs that are just as clever with wordplay, or even way better with wordplay than Eminem. Just as, that are great storytellers, even better storytellers than Eminem. All these artists. And then that was just the 80s. Those are just artists from the 80s, man, that are better than Eminem, that have classics, but that are way better than Eminem's. Eminem, as far as I'm concerned, like, the last Eminem album that I bought was the Eminem Show. And I haven't looked back since. Like, there hasn't been one other album that this man dropped where I was like, I gotta listen to it right now. I gotta rock this in my car right now. I can't even remember the last time I was playing an Eminem song in my car. And I think that that's the truth with a lot of people. A lot of people that are really big fans of hip hop. He does have some classic albums, some classic great songs and all that kind of stuff. But let's not make him bigger and more important than what he is. You know what I'm saying? And I think that part of that is because of, inferiority complex. Like, we see a white person doing something that's not even on such a high level, but because it's somebody white doing it, we're like giving them more props than they deserve. Like, for instance, somebody seeing a white person that can dance, all of a sudden they're like, oh, he's killing it, blah, blah, blah. When if they were black, you wouldn't even be saying that. They would just be another dancer or whatever. And that's the way a lot of us are. Like, we've been so programmed to worship these white people that we're gonna crown this white guy as the greatest rapper ever and all that kind of stuff. And that's how a lot of people do. And you got all these people that that Eminem, some people that Eminem put on, like 50 Cent, somebody like a Royce the 5'9", like, they will do anything to defend this guy. Like, they literally are like his house servants, like his house niggas, man. And they'll attack fellow black people to defend this guy. I just think that he's overrated. I think he's played out, like, for the people that are really into hip hop. And just because of his identity, and because of his name and his brand, anytime he drops something, it's going to sell a lot of units. It's going to move a lot of units. First of all, as a white artist, he has more crossover appeal. So a lot of those white kids are going to buy up his stuff, even if it's not the best in hip hop. They're going to buy it up. So his numbers are inflated to make it seem like, oh, he's awesome. He's way better than all these other people, when he's not. Like, I just can't remember rocking his songs lately. Like, some people that are not even the greatest lyricists produce better music than him. Like, I'll listen to somebody like, even like a Drake or a Lil Wayne, more recent stuff, than I'll listen to like an Eminem or something like that. Even though I appreciate the wordplay and the skills and all that. there's so many, and just in terms of hardcore lyricists, there are so many modern day rappers that are better than Eminem. Somebody like a Black Thought, as far as I'm concerned, he's way better than Eminem. Nas, or Jay-Z. And Snoop didn't even mention like somebody like a Biggie. Man, Biggie is way better than Eminem. Like even Tupac is better than Eminem. Tupac is way livelier. His music is more lively. So yeah, those are my thoughts about it, man. That's my little 2 cents about that whole issue. I think bottom line is I think Snoop is right. And would Eminem even be Eminem without Dr. Dre? Like, would people even know all that stuff about Eminem? Would he even have the kind of notoriety without a Dr. Dre? He would probably just be another one of these backpack rappers that nobody ever heard of. You know, if he was wasn't produced by Dr. Dre, and if he was black, nobody would even be talking about him like that. That he wouldn't even have all this buzz and acclaim and all that stuff that he has. So anyway, that's my little 2 cents about Eminem and Snoop. Tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, subscribe. And before I go, I just want to know, like, who would you want to see in one of these versus battles? You've seen the versus competitions that have been going on online. The latest one that I saw was Snoop versus DMX. What did y'all think about that? Who do you think won that? And who do you want to see battle on versus? And I'm interested in hearing that. And who do you think would win that particular battle? So with that, peace and blessings, everyone. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.